Okay, so should we get started then?
Yeah.
Want to tell everyone a little bit about who you are and how you are connected to Escape and everything?
Yeah, sure. So I studied at Escape early 2017. I attended the 3D for VFX short course, so it was just 3 months course at the time. I don't know if you guys still have it or not.
Yeah, we do still have the short courses. Yeah, I'm on the longer course, but yeah, we do both.
Oh, great. Yeah, it was full time, wasn't the part time one. It was quite fun. Yeah, it was quite a few time ago. Yeah, after that, I prepared my reel. I spent quite a few months to prepare the reel correctly, and the teachers there, they gave us like really good feedbacks about it. Yeah, after a few months, I learned that Jellyfish was looking for match movers, so I applied and they accepted. So that was my first experience in the industry. It was just for 3 months because they just needed for like few people for a TV show on Netflix. It was really fun though, and Jellyfish is a really good place for start.
Yeah, that's a really great company to get into straight off the bat.
Yeah.
So you went to Jellyfish, and yeah, where did you go after that?
After that, it was just like a 3 months thing. So afterwards, I found a job at Union VFX, and I stayed there for 6 months. There, I just work on movies. Like the main project that I was on, it's called Radioactive. It's like a movie based on Marie Curie life. It was really interesting and really artsy, and the director was Marianne Satrapi, which is, I don't know if you know her, she's the comic book, the graphic novel artist behind Persepolis, which is about her own life.
Oh, that's so interesting. I've not heard of her, but that's something I'll look into. Thanks.
Yeah, no, she's really cool, and it was really cool to work with her because she gave a lot of feedbacks. And then I work on other two movies. There was The Two Popes and Yesterday, but I had just like few shots on them, and Radioactive was my main project.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really interesting because it obviously was a longer contract, and it was giving me like a little bit more time to understand how the VFX industry was working. But it was cool, yeah. And afterwards, as you probably know, I went to ILM.
Yes.
And I stayed for 2 years.
2 years, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell everyone else what you did with them? Because I'm sure that will interest everybody.
Yeah. Like my first project was the Mandalorian, like the first season. I was at ILM TV, so they, like at the time they just opened ILM TV, so all of us were just like new people. Everyone just got be hired. It was quite cool, and of course, like working with this such big TV series was really interesting. Like I remember my first day at work, I was like, okay, you have to do like some match move for this scene, and they were like explaining to me, you have to work with this baby alien, and I was like, oh, okay, like cool. Yeah. What is it about?
Yeah.
It was funny because after like a few months, like all the memes about like, oh, baby Yoda, baby Yoda. It was really weird, but
it's great to see your work be well received by an audience though, right?
Like, yeah, it was like the first time like for me experiencing something like that, working with such but such a big project, such a big production. It was an exchange. Like I liked like the project I worked before, and obviously changing that much, it gives you a little bit of more experience, more understanding of how certain things works, especially production wise. Like you have like a lot of deliveries, and sometimes can be like hard work, but it's rewarding at the end because you're learning a lot through it.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people saying they enjoyed The Mandalorian, so that's yeah, that's good. Just for everybody, if you've got any questions, feel free to put them down and I'll ask them for you. But yeah, so was there anything at Escape specifically, anything you learned at Escape that helped you later that you'd like to share with everybody?
Yeah, for sure. Like first things, like obviously having understanding of how a 3D pipeline would work. It's really important, and the teachers giving you a lot of feedbacks and having like projects with deadline. It's important. So you starting to practice how,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
working under pressure is not
pressure.
but still you have to deliver something and receive a feedback on it and like change that. It's like a first experience, which is really important. Also, Escape at a time now with COVID, it's a bit impossible. They organize a VFX festival, which is so important to knowing recruiters, knowing other artists, and get yourself into the industry. That's how I got my first job at Jellyfish.
Yeah.
Because I went there, I met the recruiter there, and she was super friendly. I had my iPad with my showreel, like, oh look, that's my showreel, and I want to apply. I know that you're looking for Matchmove, and
that's such a great place to go for your first job.
That's really good, and like that way I always said with people and asking me like, how can I get into industry? Just, first of all, we have to have a reel.
Like buy.
Like really strong reel and like a link to it, and if you're like going around with this festival, be able to have, I don't know, like a support, like an iPad or like phone with a big screen to show your work and make sure that the link is working or you download, so like you don't waste time like, oh wait, it's not charging. Wait a second.
Just be there and network.
It's really important to network. It's a huge part of it. So get to know as many people as possible. It's especially if you land your first job, don't just stay stuck in front of a computer. Just go to party, talk to people, and make sure like they know you and they know how you work, and all this kind of stuff. It's a huge part of getting hired.
Someone asks, in which company did you have your favorite team?
My favorite team, I would say at IGLive. It was a super small team, but I got along with a lot of people there. They were really nice. Especially
okay. What are some of your top tips for aspiring creatives? So we'll have a lot of people watching here who are interested in Escape or are at Escape. Do you have any top tips for them?
As I said before, networking, it's a huge part. The people you know actually matter in this industry. So I know that at this time it's really difficult to get to know more people because you're stuck at home and you're behind a computer. It's really annoying, but try to connect with people on LinkedIn, and if you have a showreel, maybe link this to them. So like, look, I really want to join this company or your company or whatever. Are you looking for people? I'm willing to get my foot into the industry, and surprisingly there are a lot of people they're willing to help you feedback.
It's a good community of people.
Like don't get scared because you have nothing to lose.
On the subject of networking, how can people network with you? What's the best way to contact you if they'd like to network?
They can find me as Marta Errera on LinkedIn or here on Instagram as well. I don't use Facebook, so no Facebook.
So, what are the biggest challenges that you've faced in your career so far?
Well, for sure, moving to a smaller company to a bigger company, it's a huge challenge because you have to deal with a big pipeline, and also the kind of work is very different from what I did before. And for sure, like if I have to go to specific things, there are I work on this show. It's called The Boys. I don't know if you heard about it. It was like the second season, and I had to track a lot of plate with just water in it.
Oh,
There
yeah.
was nothing to track, just water and clouds. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this is so difficult. How can I gonna do that? And
Yeah.
then like eventually, like you get through this, but yeah, it was painful.
Yeah. Yeah, feel free to get specific. People will be very interested to know all like little stories and things. Yeah, what are some of your highlights of studying at Escape?
Like stuff that I liked, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah. Like, what were some of your favorite things that you did or favorite moments?
I really liked when we went out to shoot our own videos. At the time, my teacher was done, and we went out with him, like shooting videos around London.
Yeah.
It was one of the best things for me because I'm a bit of a camera nerd,
Yeah.
photography nerd, so I like this kind of stuff, and it's really good.
Yeah.
It was really fun, and obviously like knowing a lot of people and go to parties. It was really fun, and really useful, and people gives you a lot of feedback.
Yeah. Okay. So what advice would you give someone who wants to get into the industry, who might not be like already studying or already looking for work, whatever? What would your main piece of advice be for them?
Like someone that haven't studied yet,
Yeah,
or
someone that's
he wants to approach the
yeah. What's the first thing that you should do, really?
for sure, like look some videos about what the industry is all about. What's is 3D, what's is 2D. Obviously depends on what I like. Getting to know the courses more, and like I know that Escape, they do like some course, but it's just like 1 day based, and they can attend those. I don't know if you guys still do it.
I think there's still taster days and things on.
Yeah, taster days.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's all online right now. It's still the same. It's still like
they can try one of those and see what they like,
yeah,
and
just
then because it's so broad. Like
yeah,
there's animation, games, and
there's
3D, and also in 3D you have to decide like I want to do texture, I want to do modeling. That's a lot. So of course, like look online and see what would be your thing.
Yeah.
And give it a go.
And someone asked, actually following on from that, follows on quite nicely. Is there anything that you should do before applying or attending Escape? Anything that you found like it was good for like preparing to study?
Well, I studied Maya a little bit before going to Escape, so obviously it's helpful, but it's not necessary. I think it's not necessary. It's just a matter of what you want, or if you're willing to learn, if you're willing to stay in front of a computer for hours, and if you're committed to that, and you have passion for this job or for the art in general. I think it's enough.
Yeah, for sure. You don't have to have anything specific, but if you're interested in it, you might. Yeah. I'm just wondering if there's. I mean,
for sure, you have to be prepared to spend a lot of time in front of a computer, and because it takes time to learn. It's what it is about.
Yeah. Someone asks how long their show reel should be. I'm not sure if that's a question for you.
Well, depends. For me, like 1 minute,
Yeah.
1 minute to 30 be a good amount.
Yeah.
But it's not about how long the show really is, about what you put in it. Like, make sure you put your best work in it.
Yeah.
Like, a friend of mine asked me, like, oh, should I put like my best work before or after? But I'm just like, just put your best work. Don't put something that is not your best work.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you don't, but I just want my one thing that is my best work, then work and do something.
Yeah.
More.
And did your time studying help you build up that show reel and like help you get it together?
Yeah. Escape helps you with everything, so it's really good.
Yeah. Just having a look. Yeah, I don't want to miss any questions from people, but I think I'm done. Has anyone else got any other questions? Anyone on the live? Not to make the most of your time here. Yeah.
Yeah, so certainly, like, the most important thing is your reel.
Absolutely, 100%.
Like, networking as well, but if you're networking and you have nothing to show, you can be really a cool dude, but you don't have anything to show, so
yeah,
that's it.
Someone asks if you play guitar.
Yeah.
Guitar in the back, yeah. Someone says, what software would you recommend to use? I suppose for match moving, that's quite...
For match moving, 3D Equalizer
is
basically the best for it. And of course, Maya.
Yeah, of course. Someone asks, what made you want to study VFX, I suppose? And what made you want to study it?
Well, in Italy, I was studying cinema and multimedia. And on the side, I was working as a video maker. And I started to approach Maya. I think I had like an exam that I had to attend with animation, and I had to learn Maya to do that. And I really liked it, and I understood that it was used for VFX. At a time, our professor organized a trip to London to visit the main studios.
Oh, wow.
I visited when I was 22 or 23. I visited MPC, ILM, and Framestool.
Wow, yeah.
And I was like, okay, I want to get in. What do I need to do?
For sure.
It's very appealing. Like on the outside, you see like it's really fun. It looks like really fun, and then you just it's a lot of work.
Yeah. But it's enjoyable. That's what matters.
Yeah, it's enjoyable.
What do you think your best and your worst moment have been in your career so far?
My best and worst moment. Oh, that's really big question. I'm not sure. Oh my god. Well, the best moment was when I finished work on Mandalorian, and a lot of people talking about it. It was really different for me. Like, obviously, of course, like the audience approached it quite well.
Yeah.
And it was really strange. So that was good. And the worst part is always when you have a lot of deadlines and you're dying in front of your computer.
Yeah.
It's happening, especially when you work on some Marvel movie or Star Wars. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in your CV, and it's kind of worth it.
Absolutely. It's always worth it in the end. What's one thing that you wish you'd known before joining Escape?
Before joining Escape, I'm not sure. I would say I wish I study more artistic subjects, because at uni I always did just theoretical stuff and nothing really artistic. So I never used Photoshop before, and
Yeah, just
so
get like
I learn everything.
an all around.
Yeah.
Try and get as much as you can done. Yeah. Someone asks, is there anything that you recommend doing in a daily routine, or anything like that, or on the way, or when you get to a studio in the morning? So just, is there anything in your daily routine that's helped you, I think is the question.
Help me through, like, go through the day, you help me with a career?
I'm not sure. Let's go with both.
Good question. Okay. At the moment, after work three times a day, I do like exercise, because we're stuck at home.
Yeah.
And I always like have this backache, so it's really important to move a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Exercise and keep yourself active, and try to cook and eat something healthy.
Yeah, when you're sitting in front of a computer all day, it can get a bit.
Yeah.
Someone asks, how long did it take you to find work after finishing your university course?
A long time. It was like 6 months, something like that, even more.
Yeah. It will take a while.
Yeah. It takes time. It takes time.
Just, yeah, you said before.
Like once you have your first job, then should be easy afterwards.
Yeah. We have two of the same question here. Was how was working on Wandavision? Did you enjoy it? How was the experience?
Yes and no. I enjoy being like in this project, because obviously it's something good for the CV. Like, it was my first Marvel project, so that's a big thing. But yeah, we had a lot of deadlines to attend, so sometimes it can be a little bit difficult on this side. But
it's nice to work on something like that, but it can be.
Yeah, it's nice to work something like that, but I mean, the stress is always there.
Yeah, for sure. Someone asks, 3D is super broad. Do you plan to stay in matchmoving?
For now, yeah. I really like Matchmove and layout, so I'm planning to continue to build my career on this path. Of course, I want to learn, and I want to approach other things like lighting, but I realize I want to keep those stuff just for me. I don't want to apply them to work.
Yeah.
And just like some personal projects.
Of course,
I
yeah.
think for me it would be more rewarding in this way.
Mm-hmm.
For myself, to just keep those things on the side, and
yeah,
just keep something that I don't have to put in the work.
Yeah, for sure. And someone asks, is it wise to have a hobby to mentally relax from work? The example they've given is playing Animal Crossing.
Yeah. Yeah, I play Animal Crossing. For sure someone that knows me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important to release the stress after work, but not just for VFX. This is a general thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Not an expert, but
whatever you're doing, you should always
usually do, I guess.
Relax. Someone asks, how often do you use references in VFX? Yeah, that's the first question. How often do you use references?
I think it depends on what you're working on and what's your department. If you're animation, it's important to use reference.
Yeah.
If you're like animating a bird, they just watch YouTube videos of birds and stuff like that. It's really important, but obviously it depends on. For Matchmove, you don't really need references.
Yeah. And then their second question was, are there any other programs you use, such as ZBrush or Adobe Creative?
Work-wise, no. I use just Maya, 3D Equalizer, and depends on the pipeline. Sometimes you can use Nuke as well.
Okay. And then someone asks, how do you feel about working remotely? Do you prefer it, or do you miss being in the studio?
I love it.
You love it, yeah.
Love it, yeah.
Yeah, it's got some positive.
It's good because I have a lot of time there, more time than before.
Yeah.
It's easier, I think.
Do you miss being around the team that you're working with at all?
At the moment, I'm in a new job, so it would be interesting to go to the studio to know people, actually, instead of knowing just like through like a webcam or something. So on this side, yes,
yeah,
I would like to know people in real life. But yeah, on the other side, I find it more relaxing to work from home.
Yeah.
Especially we work in VFX, we just need a computer. We don't really need to stay constantly in the studio. So it would be interesting to keep maybe both things one day.
Yeah.
Do like a bit, like some days in the studio and some days at home would be ideal.
Yeah, that could be what happens. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and it depends on the company, I guess. But
yeah. We have a question here that says, do you usually go on set at work, or do you just work in the office?
I went a couple of times on set. Hopefully with this new job I will go more. So yeah, depends on what you're working on, I guess. And if you're Matchmove, yes. If you're data wrangler, of course, yes.
Yeah.
You go. But if you're maybe comp or I don't know, something else, you probably won't.
Yeah. How do you cope with keeping your work life and private work life separate while working at home? Do you have any tips?
Well, at the moment, I'm in Italy. I'm stay with my family, so I'm just telling her like, don't enter in my room. I'm working this area, so it's easy.
Yeah. And we have a follow-up question from the person who asked about the softwares. They've said, do you also use Nuke and Houdini as well, or does it depend on the pipeline?
I use Nuke, but depends on the pipeline, depends on the company. Houdini, no.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that you'd touch.
Keep it away from me.
Yeah, that's the last question then, unless anyone has any more, or stick around. But I think we're coming up to the end of the time. Apologies for the technical difficulties again.
No worries.
There's some communication issues, but that's hey, yeah, I think that's all the questions. Thank you so much. It's been great to talk to you.
Thank you.